There is a lots of things regarding Dr. Mahendra Singh to speak, but I think you people yourself is going to study from him how to teach organ. My humble submission to all the peoples that give a good clap, a very mild and humble clap to ask Dr. Mahendra Singh with the standing positions, to honor to my teacher, to our teacher.
I am happy that I am here so that I can see 4 generations at the light of my career sitting in front of me. The clap that you should give is not because I am a teacher of teachers, but because for the first time in my life, today I am trying to give a lecture on this slide business. The most notorious man that I have met in my life is Ishwar Das, the present director of NIH. He is such a bull-headed person. Unfortunately, he is not here. Since 2 years, he is eating my head that you must learn lock top. And I am fighting it, and ultimately I have revved up this extent that I have brought it. The sentiments that we express, thank God that you say he is teacher of teachers. तुम हिंदी में उस्तादों के उस्ताद नहीं बोलते हो. उस्तादों के उस्ताद का माने समझते हो? असमिता? It is used in the terms of criminals. ये उस्तादों का उस्ताद है. It is a fact that I have been teaching Organon from 1962. And if we go a little deeper, the temperament in Calcutta college was that all senior students used to teach junior students. So whoever is weak in any subject, he is saying to some seniors for pathology, some for organ and some for this. So by the time the person passes out, he becomes a teacher. It happens with all persons. Now, in all courts when we appear, and think that most of you have seen this book, the dedication is very sentimentally written. It is written, dedicated to the people who created this book and me. I created this book, but who created me? My teachers and also my students. I was telling Dr. Tapan just now that the questions that you ask in the class, and if the teacher is honest, he does not bluff or does not become angry, then it becomes the first step of his learning. He was asking me, do you have seen the photograph of the stall? I said no. And then I was thinking where to search. For all these more questions that your students ask, or you ask your teachers, or you are going to ask me, they are only adding to our knowledge, and that is how we become very rich. Organon of Medicine, whenever a teacher teaches it, fundamentally he has to understand what it is. And he has to compare, is there any book in the world in medicine or science which can be compared with this book? The answer is no. On this there is a quotation that some works are written which can be duplicated, can be improved. Some works are written which are never improved. They remain where they are. We can write 1,000 commentaries on Holy Quran, on Vedas. You cannot change it. Time gives us more knowledge, more experience, more expertise. Time does not give us the power. It changed everything. I'm not saying because I consider Organon to be a religious book. I only say that Organon is a book written by a scientist. Hahnemann was not a god. So it also may require improvement. And improvement we have done. He has 100 drugs, we have 4,000 drugs. She did not know repertory as nicely as we did. He did not have as many copies of repertory as he had. He did not know potentization to the extent what we are doing, what we are using. His highest potency was 30th. So all these improvements have come. But Organon is not famous for each of his lines, but for the fundamentals which it has set. That homeopathy is a method of similar. It is giving single drug. It is giving minimum dose. And comparing other systems of medicine, it has a logic against them. These fundamentals will never change. It has not changed. As a teacher, you should know what was the background of Organon. I am afraid to say, and please do understand, that when I criticize you, I don't mean that you are criminal and I am a good person. I mean the society, we, the teachers of Organon. Where is our failure? The failure is either we have selected single chapters to speak on vital force, on miasm, or second decision like this, or when we have selected one single aphorism as we are doing now, when we have selected single aphorism to teach in the class, in the head of the department start distributing paragraphs to teachers from this aphorism to this aphorism minus events. So there we are taking only one aphorism at a time, and whatever is written there, like a Bible, literally we are going behind it, without reference of the same word in other places. There are many words like this. Sometimes in profession we ask, why Hahnemann said mission? In our time, this was such a dangerous question that most of us were afraid of these questions. Because at that time there is timing was the purposes for which human beings are sent into this world. The moment you say, he said, what for you are sent? At that time I said to practice homeopathy. My teacher did not know, I did not know that I had become a teacher of Organon. So, but these questions were so rampant. There was a tendency, why Hahnemann said, as it is turned. So there the difficulty is that we are limiting ourselves to one paragraph, not going front, not going back. There was an article by famous Dr. Mahendra Singh Ustado ke Ustad, how Organon was received by the contemporary medical world. How Organon was received by the contemporary medical world. All of us are differently built. We all have individuality. But if ever there was a discussion on what should be the quality of the Organon teacher, what should be the basic qualification, not academic, personal qualification of an Organon teacher, there was a discussion one day. The subject, how to teach Organon, Dr. Khan. Please don't think, Dr. Samir Bachati, that you are asking this question for the first time. I will demonstrate you that this question was asked nearly 117 years ago, 1893. 1893 in the International American Institute of Homeopathy. I have got a slide that is for you. Luckily, there were many important persons present in that house. There are opinions of uses, opinion of dozen, opinion of more, opinion of price, opinion of Edgerton. So the confusion what we have today, this is nothing new in homeopathy. And who was the first teacher of Organon of medicine? Hahnemann himself. And there is a very pathetic and also very emotional painting of Hahnemann's first lecture. You can note down the paper, you have got the book. A teacher of Organon should have some books on history of homeopathy, some books on life of Hahnemann, the most important of which is Richard Hale's 2 volumes, Hahnemann, Life and Work. In the first volume, exactly on page 98, there is a description of how Hahnemann went to give his first lecture. And there it is written that he did not go like a simple person like us or Samir wearing ordinary clothes. Hahnemann was a very simple man. You have read his life, you know. A very simple man, a disciplinarian. He tortured himself maximum. His timings were so rigid. I only sometimes think how his wife could live with him for long, 48 years. आज का जमाना हो तो 3 साल में डाइवोर्स हो जाए. How that woman tolerated him for 48 years. It is said by Wickler, the character of a man can be judged by two things: the woman he marries and the way he dies. In India, the system was, and partly still it is, that guardians select partners for us. For girls, they select boys. For boys, they select girls. In their country, the system was, what is coming in our country, you select your partner. You select the woman you are going to marry. There it faced that your character can be judged by two things: the woman you marry. What type of selection is? You want a Kareena Kapoor? You want a Marjorie Dixit? Or you want a very robust, solidly built woman like Madame Hahnemann? Luckily, Hahnemann's selection was right. The woman could sustain him for long 48 years, gave birth to 11 children, and never complained against him. Poverty was extreme. And the way you die, it is here only that human beings become different. To simply remember the death of Jesus Christ, the reaction of Hazrat Muhammad after Karbala, Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Khudiram Bose, Bhagat Singh, and Pakistan's Zulfikar Bhutto. If you don't remember, you remember. Jesus Christ was crucified and he prayed to God, God forgive them. They do not know what they are doing. After 40 nails in his body, the criminals who were responsible for war at Karbala, ultimately they were brought to Hazrat after he came finally to Makkah. And that day they wanted to kill them, his warriors and his soldiers. He not only forgave them, he gave his own clothes to a woman. Gandhi was shot and Gandhi said, "Hey Ram." Khudiram Bose, Bhagat Singh's body weight increased. You are doing exercise every day. The man who is going to be hanged tomorrow in the evening was doing an exercise. Same Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, when he was hanged, he became unconscious. He passed his stool and urine unconsciously. And that is why Hahnemann's greatness is where I have not lived in vain. Man introduced Vixik. So this man, when he went to give his first lecture at Calcutta University on a Wednesday, he made a great makeup to his face, putting powder and snow and all that, whatever, and very jazzy clothes. In world, Spanish people are supposed to wear most jazzy poses, most greatest makeup. The language is he went like a Spaniard. You open paragraph 1 of Organon, read it, and then I will quote his language. And he unleashed means lagam hata dena, a vituperative attack against Homoeopathy. And this he continued for few days, because in that class all important persons, deans, Homoeopathy deans, all doctors had come to listen to him. And that day the first teacher of Organon failed in the class. What he should have done, he should have countered them by argument, by smiles, by his lecture. Instead, he started attacking Homoeopathy and most of them went away. Second failure, if you remember, was Kanu Sanyal after he released from jail, the man who started Naxalbari Andolan. That day at Shahid Minar, many persons went, nearly 4 lakhs of people, including me. But that day this man failed. He could not impress. So it happens. Organon, I was telling you the character of a man. So how far you are involved with Organon, how far you are involved with Homoeopathy? I beg your pardon, what normally I begin my class and I said 2 things. From this dais, if I criticize anybody, nothing is personal. And I don't lie. I don't become dishonest. I always quote, I am quoting again. Please remember that quotation of Brutus in Julius Caesar. Brutus was the most trusted disciple of Julius Caesar and he killed Julius Caesar. And so people asked him, why did you kill him? Brutus' answer is, I killed Caesar. Caesar loved me, I weep for him. He was valiant, I honor him. He was ambitious, I killed him. I killed Caesar not because I loved him less, but because I love Rome more. So when I criticize in this class, not because I love him less, but because I love homeopathy more, and I consider my responsibility to homeopathy more. That is the only purpose. Otherwise, time and luck and Bengal has given me much more than I could have ever deserved. Much more, much more. And the record that I have, nobody can touch it even again. In Central Gone, people are surprised, how could you win from Bengal? Not that. So my friends, the idea is that if you are emotionally involved with Organon, involved with homeopathy, then in Dr. B.K. Bose's language, whenever anybody criticizes your country, criticizes your religion, criticizes your profession, criticizes your parents, if you hear it silently, you are important. You are a coward. So at Gwalior, there was a meeting of homeopathy doctors, and the question was, Dr. Mahendra Singh, in all meetings of homeopathy doctors, I always see that you always criticize allopathy. We never criticize. My answer was that article, how Organon was received by the contemporary medical world. Medical men are very respectable, they look very respectable, they talk very respectable, they wear very respectable clothes. But please do understand, including yourself, medicine is a science which survives on the blood of others. We are all parasites. The lawyers, the doctors, the policemen, and also the preachers of the religions. Not, I mean the founders. जो दूसरे के परिश्रम पर जिंदा है कौन लोग हैं? Doctor. Where is your interest? In the health of the patient or in the disease of the patient? In this fact, that whole country becomes healthy, or in this fact, that whole country becomes sick. From where the car will come, the building will come, the clothes will come. So a parasite, even if he becomes very honest, he remains a parasite. क्यों सुभेंद्र बात मानते नहीं हो?
आधारों करी इन प्रत्यस टीचर से आगे
बच्चे उसको कौन कर? In that article, you will see what filthy language can be used by doctors against Hahnemann. Not because Hahnemann was wrong, but you are attacking the very bread of them. If you will prove that allopathy is basically wrong, so where will you go? So attack against homeopathy was not always scientific. The man who was most scientist, Hapland, she criticized Hahnemann and protected Hahnemann. All Hahnemann's writings were published in his journal. But Hahnemann was such a bitter person, that he did not forgive anybody. A small footnote against Hapland. Nobody can say without offering an insult to common sense. This was the remark against Hapland, the most trusted friend, the most neutral person. He was criticizing allopathy, he was criticizing Hapland, he was criticizing everybody, and Hapland was publishing his article serial in his journal. And again, Hahnemann, that small remark, he is offering an insult to common sense. आदमी अपने common sense का insult करता है. ये মানুষটা সাধারণ তার নিজের সাধারণ জ্ঞানকে অপমান করছে, মানে stupid আছে. Organon was received in 2 ways. After Hahnemann's lectures, all persons left the hall, only 8 remained, and they remained with him till the end of their life. And then Organon was published in May or June. In 2 months, journals started coming against homeopathy. All this happened here and there. And Bradford's quotation is, the publication of Organon was like putting fire to a dynamite to gunpowder is spread all over Europe. So wherever was, he started criticizing Hahnemann. So that is the background of Organon. As a teacher, you should know what language they used. I'm sorry that I could not bring all the articles. Of course, time was short because too much this, and my experience is very sad. I was telling Lal that the papers that I did to my listeners, all of them are not properly honored. The hard labor of Tapan Mandal and Mahendra Singh and people who write books, this is not always nicely received by the profession. I have never received one letter saying that Dr. Singh, you have done a good thing or you have done a bad thing. Because you are all very silent, respectable, calm and quiet, docile persons. Very happy in our everyday life, food is food. But even if that opportunity comes, I request you to read that article, how it was received. When Organon had also a gradual change in the style of teaching. When I came as a student, the system was that the Organon teacher will come in the class, aphorism 1. So all of us will open aphorism 1 in Dresden's book. He will read it and tell the word meaning of one or two difficult words. The high and only mission means the purpose for which you are born. Of a physician means doctor. Is to restore. Restore means to bring back. Like that he will tell the meaning, finish paragraph, paragraph 2. Similar meaning, paragraph 3. That was the style, and this was followed by all important persons like Dr. D.N. Rai, like Dr. R.K. Dev, like Dr. Sripati Mandal, whom we have seen. Then a style came of selecting a particular topic. Krishna Sengupta could speak very wonderfully on vital force. They speaks very wonderfully on second prescription, on chronic miasm, on Kent's 12 observations, but what about other chapters? Then time changed. Before Central Council came, then all council had a syllabus. And there, when new persons became head of the departments, for the first time it was decided that the subject should be, those subject aphorisms should be allotted. So aphorisms were allotted and the aphoristic style of teaching began. That you are following now in most of the cases. It was done by Mahendra Singh. It was done by Karar, by Jawardar. Now I was asking Tapan. It is being done by Lal, by Tapan, by Subhas, by whoever are now, because that is the style now. Leak. I'm sure you don't have your tape recorder on now. Somebody was telling me that whatever you are saying is going to be on website and Google all that. Huh? Because if that is the fear, many things we cannot say openly. I told you that today when we are meeting, I am not considering you as a student. I consider you the future of homeopathy. SP there has gone. Jawardar is blind. Siddha Sabka died. MC La is dead. Mahendra Singh will be dead tomorrow. And because we are a chain and a continuation of a tradition, the responsibility of a teacher of Organon is maximum in any place, anywhere. Unfortunately, the situation in homeopathic colleges is this. Hello. Should we take a recess? Should we go? I was telling you, Amit, যদি থেকে ফ্লাইট সিস্টেম বেরিয়েছে এর খুব সুবিধা আছে। হল অন্ধকার করে দাও, তাতে ছাত্র কী করছে বা শ্রোতা কী করছে দেখার কোনো উপায় নেই। তুমি যদি নিজে স্লাইড করতে ঠিক আছে, আদারওয়াইজ কেউ করে তাদের পরে পরে এই মাইকে বলতে থাকো। এনি টম, ডিক অ্যান্ড হ্যারি, any Haridas Pal, any Burhu Kodwaru can become a lecturer. Computer has made anybody a writer. You will see books full of printing mistakes, spelling mistakes, but that is a book. So what I was telling you that मैडम अब इस रूम को बंद कर दो, इसके पहले कि हम गुस्सा हो जाए बंद कर दो। I was telling you that people have died. He who is speaking here today will go away tomorrow. He who is sitting there will come here tomorrow. This is a continuity. And when we started our career, the salary was 2 rupees per lecture. Many of you have started a career at a very high note. At that time, there was no doubt in anybody's mind about the dedication of the teacher. Institutions in Bengal were never made for earning money. They were all public properties and each pie of that was accounted. I said Bengal, please remember this. Same thing is not happening all over India. Today in India, most of the institutions are for money making. And by God, if tomorrow there is no student in Homoeopathic college, take from me that these colleges will convert into anything, engineering college, computer college, pharmacy college, any damn thing, washerman's college or a tailor's college. So tradition had changed, dedication also had changed. Generations had changed. The attitude had changed. The loss to homeopathy by this attitude is this, that today many things are happening in homeopathy. Drug and Cosmetic Act is changed. Government wants to change Central Council Act. Government has implemented Clinical Establishment Act. We are printing books with hundreds of mistakes. In Boix Mathematica, Indian drugs have been added. In King's Reperty, ADFCs has been added by Harrison. The whole professor is silently watching like dead persons because you are not involved. You want somebody else to do. आप इस सेंटर कौन सी तक ठीक करते आप सेंटर को आप क्या कर रहे हैं वहाँ आप क्या कर रहे हैं every amendment that is done in Central Council is circulated to all the university, to governments, to director's office. How many of us have think about remarks and opinions? Mahendra Singh is a chairman today for the last 19 years. Tomorrow Lal will be a chairman. Day after tomorrow Tapan will be a chairman. How much wisdom he has? Do I know anatomy as much as bottom knows? Do I know surgery as much as our students know? No, I don't know. So if I made a syllabus where I did not know the subject, you fault with him. You never sent your subject. And when the subject was man in health and man in disease, the whole profession was tested by putting only 2 subjects. Whole India did not know what type of examination should be taken. So Maharashtra started asking questions on anatomy, somebody on physiology, somebody on gynae. And in Organon, gynae teachers were brought to ask gynae questions. Sometimes I wonder if Hahnemann is there, as they say that from heaven they look to us. What with his feeling? और Organon के सारे वो टीचर जो हमसे पहले मर गए, जो डेडिकेटेड थे काम के लिए बिल्कुल दायबद्ध कटिबद्ध, ये लोग हमको जब देखते हैं तो क्या सोचते हैं, कौन है ये लोग? कि होम्योपैथी को उन्होंने रोटी रोटी बना दिया, धंधा बना दिया, जीवन का सपना बना दिया, पेशा बना दिया, या इनका कर्तव्य है, इनका धर्म है, क्या है? कहीं से एक आवाज़ नहीं, कहीं कोई ही बोलता है. Responsibility of Organon teacher is this, that when government of India wants to amend the act, they suddenly they remember, अरे महेंद्र सिंह को बुलाओ, महेंद्र सिंह को बुलाओ, और लाल को बुलाओ, लाल को बुलाओ. क्यों? तो गवर्नमेंट अमेंड कर रहा है, तो अमेंड से मेरा क्या? What I am to do? Mahendra Singh was, we have to defend there, you know. Organon teachers will always be remembered in crisis. He will always be remembered in crisis because you are not only a teacher of a subject, you are a preacher of an ideology. You are the vanguard of the profession because you know what is right and what is wrong. And I also know that in the colleges, the teachers of surgery in practice and medicine will always cutting jokes with you. Organon, फिलोसफी में था कि भाई तो बोले मैं तो प्रैक्टिकल आदमी हूँ, 2 पैसा कमाता हूँ भाई, तो उसको फिलोसफी का बात मत करो. और हैनीमैन कुछ भी बोले, मेरा एक्सपीरियंस ये है. और केन सुनो, केन इस जमाने में चलता नहीं. तुम मेरा एक्सपीरियंस सुनो. तुम कैकेरिया कप टू दिया है? नहीं, दे के देखो. तुम थायराइड में दे के देखो. मेरा एक्सपीरियंस 40 years का एक्सपीरियंस है. And you silently hear it, knowing fully well what Kent has taught you. Law is the master, experience is the slave. Law directs, experience only confirms. Experience cannot be the law. Your silence has given them this courage. That anybody comes and says, Laskar School of Homeopathy, Calcutta School of Homeopathy, Predictive School of Homeopathy, what not school? Baxter's Homeopathy, Bartraj Homeopathy, Tappan's Homeopathy, Lars Homeopathy. How many homeopathies are there in this country? Ladies and gentlemen, you are the vanguard, you are the preacher and also the protector. You have to know, whenever there is a Rath Yatra in Jagannath, devotees go, believers go, and with them go the pickpockets, the robbers, the thieves, the people who sell velpui, the people who sell shoes. Decide what you are. A devotee or taking advantage of the situation, a survivor, a verbalizer, or a creature. And honestly speaking, if you don't have the stimulants, should not teach organ. Please, it is only not a sentiment, it is my judgment. Our careers are very clear. B.K. Sarkar was a allopathy doctor, and probably the most brilliant boy in Calcutta University of his time, got gold medal in selling circuits. He converted to homeopathy and started teaching Organon. Dr. Gure was a teacher of anatomy and mathematics. Destiny finally decided mathematics for me. Mahendra Singh was a teacher of anatomy, demonstrator of anatomy, head of the Department of Pharmacy in evening section, and a demonstrator in Organon. Destiny brought me here. Some have come by choice. I want to teach organ.